Lead the way,
Starts
my
and double
friend.
back in the building for another
Talkover
Talkover podcast.
Podcast.
What's going on, Dubs? You good, fat? You good, my friend?
I'm all right. I'm comfortable. That's the main thing. I feel like this one's going to be... This is going to be a bumper episode.
Yeah, I feel like you need to get comfortable because this one's a pretty deep one, but one that I think it's one that I've wanted to talk about since we even came up with this idea. But obviously, we were sitting back on it a little bit because it's a deep subject, isn't it?
We wanted to get the podcast established before we jumped in with both feet, basically.
Well, yeah, we said we wanted it to start like chilled, but then ended up burying every controller DJ in the world, and then it's just
we covered rapists and murderers and
it spiraled out of control.
It went left very
To be fair though, today's a bit of a deep one, and it's one that I feel is very current to like where the industry is at the minute, and that's like people dealing with depression and anxiety. I just feel like obviously with the whole Avicii situation, that's just gone down. I don't actually know the full ins and outs of that whole Avicii thing. I know it was suicide, obviously. So,
apparently he had quite a bad alcohol problem. He stopped touring. I think I read that he stopped
touring for a year. I think
he stopped touring in 2016.
Oh, okay, so it's 2 years
and that was to do with his health. This is just what I've read. I'm not in the know. I've never met him. I'm not in the loop or anything like that. So just what I've read from online. He obviously one of the biggest DJs / producers of this dance generation,
yeah.
right?
Yep.
So touring was a massive thing. I think his life turned into a tour, and he became an alcoholic, I think. And I don't know if any other substances or whatever played a part, but he got really, really bad health. I think I read that his pancreas and his liver or his kidneys or something basically just got in such a bad way, or maybe even failed. And then he stopped touring to basically stop that lifestyle, I think.
Okay.
And then, I heard that he killed himself because he died, 6 weeks ago now or something?
Yeah, pretty much.
But
I can only imagine that, like, the intensity of, like, his schedule must have been, like, we'll have a run of, like, 5 gigs in a row, I don't know, like, bank holiday weekend, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, couple cities around England, and like it's intense. It is a little bit intense. Like you're not sleeping well, you're not eating right, you're out every night, 5-6 a.m. every night. I can only imagine the level that he was moving at. I'm talking Brazil, China, England, Germany, like.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? In and out, quick set, and then you go back to your room and you're on your own kind of thing. Like, it must have caught up to him. Like, it's no secret I've put it out there before to everyone on social media that I dealt with this whole anxiety, depression over like my career, and that was just on the level that I'm on here. Mm-hmm. So like his must have been multiplied by times 100.
Yeah, it's. You know what? And actually, I've never, ever put it out on social media or on public platforms just yet because I was working on a different way to put it out. But you know this about me, but publicly, I've never spoken about it. I had anxiety up until March this year. For the last 15 months, I was suffering from anxiety really, really badly. It was stopping me doing certain things. It was really affecting my life, and I had to get treatment and see a therapist about it to get it sorted, which is mad. And you know what, there's so many different aspects to it. Yeah, I think there is so many more people, and especially DJs, suffering from it, not just anxiety, possibly depression, different mental health issues, but because of this social media world that we are forced to just congregate in, no one really shows it. I mean, I know you're very vocal about your anxiety on Facebook and on your social media. You're one of the few people that I see put it out there. Like,
it was a conscious decision I made, man, and it was for this reason, because when I got it, I didn't know what it was, and it wasn't really a common thing. I went through it from time ago. I'm talking like 6-7 years ago, whatever. And the doctors were just saying, "Oh, just stressed. It's high stress.
Yeah,
like you must sleep because anxiety." it wasn't even really heard of. Like it was, but it was just like, yeah, whatever. It wasn't really a thing. Obviously now it's a thing. So I started dealing with it like 6-7 years ago, and the doctor was just like writing me off, basically saying, you know what I mean, you're in a high pressure industry, it's a stress, you need to sleep, you need to relax, everything will be fine. And then it eventually like ended up with me having a breakdown in the end, and I was like, nah, this is not right. This is not stress. Like, it can't be. This is not normal. Struggling to catch my breath, like, to the point where I felt like I remember the one time that pushed me over the edge where I felt like my head was just going to collapse on itself, mate. I remember running in and waking my wife up in the middle of the night. I was like, hospital right now. Like, literally going clean under. And I was like, why should I hide it? Like, this is what I'm dealing with. I'm sure hundreds of people in this industry are dealing with it themselves. This is after I've obviously got my head around what's wrong with me.
Yeah.
I did the counselling. I did CBT, which is basically where they train you to like your brain to work in a different way. So when normally your anxiety will be triggered, you learn to like, it's a different train of thought. Basically, you just reprogrammed me and the way I thought. It didn't fully get rid of it. But the minute I posted it on Facebook, I was inundated with inboxes from people in the industry.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great that you've reached out. I feel the same. Like, I won't mention any names because that's totally their business. It's not for me to put anything out there like that. But then I was like, this is a problem. Yeah. This is going back a few years ago. And I have open dialogue with so many people in the game that are dealing with the same stuff. And now it seems to be at the point where it's openly out in the public, like more and more people are talking about it.
Yes and no, though. I would disagree in a certain sense.
I don't know, man. Compared to when I first spoke about it, mate, like everyone was quiet out there, but then all these inboxes come in and
so maybe to you, but still in public, right? And this is part. I'm
just talking from my own experience, innit? Like from what I've seen in my circle and what I'm around. Like
people are still posting their happiest photos, and the photos, oh look, I'm killing the game, da. And then they're going home and crying themselves to sleep because of anxiety. Yeah, that's, you know what I mean? Like, no one's openly acknowledging.
That's a part of why people get it.
Yeah, because and it's
glorifying the wrong lifestyle. Like, if you're not living that life and then you're portraying it and you're going home and having a life that's the complete opposite, that is just going to create tension in yourself.
But not only that, it's
anxious. It's going to make you depressed.
It's because everyone else is doing it. So it's almost like they're trying to compete in a pretend world. Instagram is just an app. It's not a real world, but people really treat it like it is. And they're really out here posting their best life. Look at me, I'm living my best life. And actually, no, you're not. You're terrified about going to sleep because tomorrow you got to wake up with anxiety again and da. Like, I feel like people, one way to help combat this is take a step back a little bit and stop with the social media. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're not living your best life, don't post that you're living your best life. Because you're not. If there's a problem, put it out there. Because what you'll find is, suddenly, there's 10 people in your immediate circle online that are going through the same thing. And you've proved that by saying you posted it out. And
it wasn't, you know what I mean? It was questionable, man. I was like, this could go one way or the other. Like, people could look at me like there's something wrong with me. It might affect my work. It might be whatever. Or, like, I'm an open, like, I speak openly about everything anyway. I don't really hold back on stuff. Like, sometimes I'm too honest for my own good. So I was like, well, I'm going to put it out there because that's what I would do anyway. Yeah. I do talk to people openly about it. Like, I didn't know what it was for ages. So the minute I got my head around it and I figured out what it was, I was like, I'm going to defeat it and I'm going to help everybody else defeat their demons if they're dealing with the same stuff. Yeah. Like, I think it's key, man. Like, if you can't admit your problem, you can't solve it.
I think part of it is as well, the people that do suffer from it and have, whether it's, I can only speak for people that have anxiety because I've not had depression or anything, luckily. I've only gone through anxiety and I know what that's like. But the people that haven't, don't get it. If you've not had mental health problems or you've not suffered in any way from it, you will not understand. I didn't. Like, to me, before I had anxiety was just...
I remember chatting to you and you mentioned it for the first time and you said about the symptoms. And at first you don't get it. And I was thinking, you sound like how I sounded when I first started getting it.
Yeah, bruv, I was scared, mate.
It is, bro. You feel like your heart's going to jump out your chest at any moment. Like, you could just drop dead.
No, you know what it was?
Sometimes.
It was the fact
I shouldn't even laugh, but...
No,
I
but
still
it was
get
the
it
fact
now.
that I was losing control of my brain.
Yeah.
Like my brain's going off and doing certain things that I couldn't stop it doing. I was getting nervous about DJing in certain places. I was getting anxiety and panic attacks before I'm sitting down with artists and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like that, and that's
See?
not me. Like
That was one where I started figuring out something wrong with me, and it was when I was interviewing artists.
yeah,
Same way, I would get not even nervous, because I get nervous when I go on DJ. I get
Yeah.
nervous for everything, because
Sometimes.
just to make me perform.
yeah,
But
yeah.
for that, to the point where I was sick sometimes, man. Like, but I didn't know what it was. I could have been dealing with it for years before I even knew what I was onto. But then when I think back, I remember turning up to gigs and I'm like, for no reason.
Yeah, I think it's such a common thing. I think it's more common than people even realise. Like in the DJing game specifically,
You got to look at why people get it as well. Like, I think our industry, it plays a huge part in it. Just going from
Bruv.
the insecurity of the job. Do you know what I mean? It's high pressure.
Look at but look at the facts around DJing. Yeah, this week I've got 5 residencies. In a month's time, depending on what happens with those
1.
clubs, I could have 2 residencies left. Do you know what I mean? Like this week I'm earning this amount of money. Next year, this exact same week, next year, I might not be earning this money. Do you know what I mean? I might be on less.
It's not secure, is it? It's not secure.
No, it's so insecure, bro. A club tomorrow could turn around and call me and be like, I'm really sorry, but we're shutting because we're not making the money. So you don't have a job anymore. And boom.
It's true.
That's
It's
a residency
happened
gone.
over the years. Like,
Yeah.
and the contrast of the highs and the lows as well. Like, this is one going off my own experience. Like, because one minute you could be on top of the world. Right. This is just from my own experience. Right. We had Jam, top of the world. Manny's locked down. Biggest weekend night in Manchester. 5 years when everything's great. Residencies. Tied in, like, owning parts of clubs. All this. I've got this monopoly, everything. Overnight, gone.
Yeah.
And believe me, that hits you like a ton of bricks, bro.
Yeah,
like
man.
that was when I did the ghosted off social media, head down, rethought everything, and sorted my life out, and had to like go at it again, man. Like this, it's the game. The game can play with you, man. It's not easy, bro. Like it's a tough one. The late nights as well, like
the sleeping pattern, and that's the
sleeping pattern, the late nights, like you're missing your daytime sometimes. Like if you've got 4 or 5 gigs in a row and you're coming in at 5, 6 a.m, like by the end of that week, you're finished. Like
I tell you what, one of the key things, there was 2 things. I was lucky, yeah, because I could pinpoint what was the cause of my anxiety. So going off of that, I knew how to combat it, and with my therapist, we were able to figure it out and basically eradicate it. I did hypnotherapy. You already know this, but people watching, like, I went and saw a hypnotherapist.
That's sick, man.
And if you've never experienced it before, if you haven't had anxiety, or if you've never been hypnotized, you will just think that's a bunch of hippie bullshit.
I thought the same thing, bruv, until you told me.
Bruv, I was skeptical, but you know what? That was my last resort before going to see the doctor and getting tablets. And I thought, you know what? Let me try it, because if I try it and it works, I haven't had to take pharmaceuticals. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to feel exactly the same. I'm not going to feel worse. So, and it worked, bruv. And it took 6 weeks to get rid of 15 months worth of anxiety.
Yeah, see, that's crazy,
Boom,
man. Because I used to be like you. I used to think hypnotherapy.
I thought it was dog shit, bruv.
Yeah,
Before
same. I used to
started.
laugh about that shit and be like, I just think of what's his name, McKenna.
Yeah,
What's
exactly.
When people talk about hypnotherapy, I just think of that guy
Yeah.
doing his thing. Like, I'm not thinking that this is serious.
Different,
but obviously, I know you're not a bullshitter. So like, if you're saying it like it's legit, then it's legit.
Yeah.
Like,
and the reason, actually, I'll just quickly pass on this, but I have something else to say about it as well. The reason I have not been public about it, or the reason I haven't said anything, is because actually I documented the whole journey, and I'm working on a video project about this that I want to put
That's
out,
sick,
and just
man.
suddenly be like, right, look everyone, I had it, I don't have it now, this is how I got rid of it. Boom.
That's
So
it.
that's why I've stayed quiet, because I have got a plan of how I'm gonna get this project out. But going back to what I was saying as well, another cause of it in DJs, I think, is the fact that if you work in an office, you can start from being the lowest of the low, and then over your 30 years at that company, you're going to end up as a managing director on a 6 salary with a pension and a company car, and you've got that progression through your career over 30 years, and then you reach your 60s and you can retire And depending on what company it is, you might get £1 million. Thanks for working for us for 30 years. There's your £1 million pension. That really happens, right? With DJing, what are your options?
Stack.
You work and you graft, and the fee fluctuates, and the scene changes, and it's very unstable. And where's the progression? Do you know what I mean? Like, there's only a few of us that really break through. And the only people that make it sustainable in terms of lifetime sustainable financially are the people like Charlie Sloth from Westwood, millionaires. But they're anomalies, because look how many of us are DJs and how many really break through and get into the stratosphere, brother, and kill it like that to make millions.
It's true.
Charlie Sloth could stop tomorrow if he wanted, and he's set good financially for the rest of his life.
So a lot of the top
Exactly,
guys,
but-
Mr. Jam, Westwood,
So that's
Nelson,
where
all of them.
that's where the stability is there for them, but that's not guaranteed for all of us. Do you know what I mean? If you work in a company, in a regular normal job, most people have that progression. You're not all going to be managing directors, but you are all, if you work through, you're going to get promotions, you're going to be managers, you're going to make more and more money, you're going to get a pension. But through this
That's
line
the risk
of work,
you take by choosing our line of work, innit? You pick a creative role, but it's a
Absolutely.
bit scatty and up in the air, but you have the freedom.
absolutely.
I mean, you're not strapped down,
But
or you do the 9 to 5, you have the longevity, you come out with your
Yeah.
pension, but then you're locked down 9 to 5 routine every day.
Yeah.
I've travelled to every corner of the world, mate, through my job. Do you think a 9 to 5 is going to do that for me? Obviously,
Yeah.
that's my choice,
Yeah.
but obviously,
See, the difference is as well, like, it's how you play the game. It's how smart you are. Like, I mean, I'm very fortunate because I was taught to be smart with my money. So the money that I have made in the time that I've been doing this, I have a future plan. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I'm nowhere near a point that I could stop work tomorrow and be set good. But if work did stop tomorrow, I'm not immediately fucked.
yeah.
Some
Same.
people are, bruv.
Same.
Some people literally live hand to mouth, no savings, no investments, no property. They're paying the rent, and if their work stops tomorrow, they don't know where the next lot of money is coming from. And I think that's a huge cause in this mental health problem that we have.
No, it is.
Do you know what I mean? Also, the pressures of society, man. You're told, like, all right, by 25 you need to be on the mortgage, on the property ladder, have your mortgage sorted, and this and that. And that's not possible for a lot of people in this industry.
I used to think like that, and that was one of the reasons I was feeding myself negative stuff like that. Oh, I should have houses now. I should be here. I should be that. But it's not, man. Like, everybody move on your own timeline. This is one of the reasons that I learned. I was watching other people so much. What? Oh, this guy's doing this. Oh, this guy's here. This guy's doing that. This is sick. It was like, it was just destroying me inside. I'm like,
Yeah.
focus on me. Focus on what you're good at. Don't watch everybody else. Move at your own pace in your own lane. Like, the minute I think that's one of the worst things you can do is start comparing to other people where that, like, oh, well, he's my age and he's got this that I haven't got and has done that. So keep grinding and you're gonna get that too. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think that was a key thing. Like, I didn't do the hypnotherapy, but I didn't do meds. I did that CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy, which is like it's like a talking therapy, basically. Like, I'm a talker, innit? So I was like, sweet, I'll try this. Sat down with this woman, big up Helen. Still chat to her now. Like, she basically just retrained my mind. So when I was getting anxiety and like triggering certain thoughts and behaving in a certain way, she basically like broke me down and put me back together again in a different way. No meds involved, none of that. All brain therapy, training your mind, all that kind of stuff. And now I can get about my life in a normal way, and I do get it, but I can control it now. Do you know what I mean? I might get out of breath here and there, or it might affect me in a certain way, but it's under control. So yeah, man, there's different ways to deal with it and tackle it. Not everybody is as open and will speak about it, but one thing, I mean, speak to someone, even if it's not publicly.
That's
your friend.
the key, bro.
The key is you have to speak to someone, bro.
That's the key.
Bottle it up for years, it makes you even worse, man.
That's
make
the key.
It worse.
I think there's a lot of things. You know what else comes with this DJing thing that I think contributes to it? It's the lifestyle. And it's the fact that, it's like you said earlier, the sleeping patterns, the fact that we're working
the
nights.
drinking, the hangovers, all that stuff.
The unhealthy eating.
Trust
bro.
me,
I come out the clubs if I'm hungry. Yeah,
kebabs for days.
not kebabs, but even just a meal deal from the garage with a big up Tesco, the £3 meal deal from Tesco. Even the cheese ploughman sandwich, it's got a bit of lettuce in it, bro. Why it's not healthy?
You either. This guy disses me for getting McDonald's after the club, yeah, and he's eating flipping dog fingers from the flipping Spa garage. Like, don't ever come to me about
fingers.
food. You don't know what
We're going to do
eating.
a podcast about food, but no, we can't do that with you.
No,
You're too fussy.
the food, I think that, bro, do you know what? It's a combination.
It's the healthy
Drinking,
lifestyle.
late nights, unhealthy lifestyle, sleeping, like this job. Got to be careful, man. Look after your brain, look after your mental health, speak to people in it. Like, and this is like, we've been through it. Like, you're sick, like you nailed yours and got on top of it straight away. Like, man was a little
No,
bit.
it wasn't straight away.
Well, not
brother.
straight
It was
away,
15
but
months. Like,
15 months.
And when I look
I
back
guess
at
so,
that,
yeah,
that's
still a bit of a time.
1 year and 3 months until that was from when I had the first bit of anxiety to when I realised it was gone. 15 months of having it. And it wasn't every day. I had good days. But then there were times where I had really fucking bad days. And it attacked me and hit me hard, bruv. Like, but again...
It makes you not want to go out sometimes. Like, I'll have some days where I'm just like...
Bruv, I had to still go
I'm not
out and
going.
DJ. Like, I'm doing all these residencies. Go out and be the guy. Be the life and soul of the party. Make sure everyone else's vibes in.
And I think that's one of the problems as well when you that guy and you're out there, happy Larry in everyone's face all the time. This like, and then you go home and I mean you're on your own and you're back to your normal life and that like say the highs and the lows, man. Like I'll go to a gig, have the sickest night ever, go and I'll be sat there be like, right. Obviously I'm cool now. I get it all because I understand it, but I can see looking back over everything how all the contributing factors that end up getting you to the way that I was. Do you know what I mean?
I think there's a thing like I get, this sounds so corny, but when I do a sick set, and I'm talking like, you know, those sets that come around where just the crowd are just every
selection
and every decision you make through that set is the perfect decision and everything goes amazing.
You can't beat them ones,
and
man.
literally, like, I had one of them the other day. It was a garden party. I told you about it, the one I did in Southampton. And I came out of that, bruv, I was on top of the world, man. Like, I was just so buzzed. And even, like, when I got back and I saw Leanne, she was like, have you been drinking? Because my behaviour, bruv, I was like an excitable child. But that's honestly,
I want to wave.
And I hadn't been. But I was so excited and my dopamine levels were up. My adrenaline was blasting because I've just smashed this set and it was amazing. And then literally the next day, bruv, no like anxiety or anything, but I felt exhausted. You
were depressed. Not depression, but you were. That would have been a slight depressed.
It was a slump, and it was like it was the other side of the hill.
Used to get them after jam every Sunday.
Yeah, brother, and I hadn't been drinking
every Sunday.
I wasn't drinking. I don't do drugs. Like, it was purely a natural high. And just a natural come down. And I think also that is a contributing factor when DJs have that and you have I've just smashed the set and I've just played to the crowd and everyone loved it. And like you said, now I'm on my own.
I think I balance that was now even if I have a sick set and smash it, I don't let it gas me no more. I just treat it same way.
I have to get gassed, bro.
No,
like,
but I don't.
The feeling's just amazing.
Yeah, but I think after you've done so many sets over so many years, like, I love it, but it's my job. Yeah. I'm paid to smash this rave. Like, I'll feel the same when I leave the rave, whether I smashed it or didn't smash it.
Yeah,
like,
I'm different.
Obviously, when I'm doing this set, you'll see a difference. Yeah. But afterwards, as soon as that index go off, I go back to Stardust normal mode.
Yeah, see, I'm different, bro, because I get... But, I mean, I get these ones. Yeah.
Might be, but I might have changed, because I never used to be that way. If I had a sick set, I'm outside the club chatting to everyone. Yeah. Now I'm gone. I'm in the car.
Miserable bastard.
Not miserable, but but it's like, I've langed the set. I'm going home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm older now. Like, it's a bit different. I used to hang outside the rave for time. I was the last man in the food shop. At the end of the night, outside Tuesday, me, G2 in there. We were the last people out there when all the ravers had gone home. Shop, you know? we were still out there, and that's how we ended up building all our bands and our clubs off the side of it, because we were them kind of people. Obviously, it catches up on you, man.
Sleep. Like, another contributing factor was the fact that I did 2 years on 6 hours sleep a night. I said to myself, I will not sleep more than 6 hours a night because I have things to do. And that over 2 years was a contributing factor.
Yeah, 100%. I used to say that to you all the time, man. They'd be like, "Yeah, I got in at 6. I got up at 6:02, and went and drove to Scotland, and then went Marbella with the wife."
Do you remember?
New York. Down.
You remember what I was like in New York?
I remember, G.
We were getting in at 4 a.m. Bruv, 10 a.m. I was in the gym.
Yeah, you're crazy, man.
And then we were on it all day, walking about New York and then partying all night. Like,
I think the points that we're getting at is like, don't bottle it, innit? Don't bottle it up. Or if you feel like you're dealing with the same kind of things, you know what I mean? Speak to someone, man. You know what I mean? Get it out there, get it out in the open. No, don't post it on social media. You don't have to go yapping about it everywhere. That was just my angle. Yeah. Because I knew that I had a reach, and I thought if I can help,
just talk, innit?
If I can help reach someone and pass on what I've been through, bruv, the amount of conversations I've had off the back of it, I'm so glad. But
the amount of people that has helped, though, bruv, even if it was 5 people that messaged you about it, that's 5 people that are now talking about it, 5 people that feel better.
I think that's the key. The speaking is the key. That's it.
I think DJs, between ourselves, we need to reach out and holler at each other more. And
100.
Do you know what I mean? Just like, if one of your friends is a DJ and you know they've been a little bit of a recluse or they've not really been themselves, or you've noticed their sets have been a bit slower recently, like, just privately, just holler them and just be like, bruv, is everything cool? Just check on your people, innit? I mean, this is the problem as well with the DJing world. I think a lot of people feel isolated because it's such a competitive market. There's not a lot of people that have friends. Like, I know a lot of DJs that don't have a lot of other DJ friends because of the nature of it. It's weird.
It is a weird one, man.
Horrible, toxic industry that you get pockets of good people. We've mentioned the team, like the guys up in Newcastle before. Mm-hmm. I want their formula. I need to know their secret so that we can bring this to every fucking city in the country. So that every DJ... And you know what? Like, big ups to the DJs in Brighton as well, because there's only a couple of us now. There's not a lot of urban DJs, but I get on with, like, I'm friends with the DJs from Brighton. Do you know what I mean? Like, the ones that count to me are my friends. They're not just other DJs. So, but it's still not at that point where we go and buck each other at the sets. I'm guilty of it too. I don't just call them on a whim and be like, yo, is everything all right? Like, are you living cool? Is everything good in your head?
No, I think we're all guilty of it. Yeah. We're all guilty of that. I'm guilty of it. Like, I should, like, maybe reached out to other DJs a bit more over the years and that. Like, it's hard. Like, but everybody's living their own life, innit? Like, it's tough, man. Yeah. But it's definitely something we can all improve on. I can improve on it. We all can. Like, amongst DJs especially.
If your pal isn't himself, or if a DJ you know is not himself and not delivering, just drop him a message, innit, privately, and just be like,
I'm saying, even like the Avicii thing, like, you don't know how many people were around him in his circle. You don't know how many people were looking out for him. Did he have, do you know what I mean? Like, was his, like, agents or his management just cash cowing it? Yeah. Pushing him out to gigs, pushing him out, and not really looking at the mental health side of things. Like, you just don't know what his immediate circle was like. But, yeah, the communication, man. The communication is king. Like, just going off personal experience in it, like, that's how I dealt with it. Was talking about it, man. Yeah. Then the minute you lock it up, it can't be helped, and it just then manifests inside and just makes it even worse. So you get me? If you're feeling anxious, you feel like your homie or your brethren is a bit down, a bit depressed, like, just reach out a hand, innit, man? Pass on some experience. Like, if you've been through it before,
it's the key.
Share the knowledge.
Yeah. It definitely is the key.
There's a lot of people out here suffering, man, and we don't even know it.
Personally, I think people should be more vocal about it. And that was part of the reason why I wanted to document my journey through it, because I also wanted to show that there are ways of getting around it, non-pharmaceutical routes, because I don't believe in the pharmaceutical companies. They don't want people to get, this is getting conspiracy now, but getting into conspiracy theory, but they don't want people to get better. They want you to be dependent on them, because that's how the industries work. And I don't think pharmaceuticals are good for you. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think the tablet stuff.
I'm about clean living. I work out a lot. I eat very, very healthy when I can, like, which is most of the time. I only eat unhealthy occasionally after the clubs. But my thing about documenting it all, I wanted to go through the hypnotherapy. I didn't know if it was going to work. I didn't know, which is why I was documenting the whole thing. But I want to put that video out because I want people to see it and be like, shit, I feel exactly the same. Let me try this, because then they can heal themselves as well. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I think putting out like the journey, like the thing that the concept that you're working on is dope. And like, I did want to do something not the same way as you. I was just going to kind of share my story in it, because mine stretches over years, so it's a bit we can't even get into it in this, but mine's a bit deeper than just the industry. But I got approached by someone who's doing something directly with the NHS about anxiety and depression in the music industry. Shout out to Dan in Leeds, Danny Harrison. He's behind it all. So that's going to be something we're going to put together. I've not been up to work on it yet, but there's going to be inserts from me going in there, and that's directly through the NHS. So that's definitely going to contribute like towards starting to help or get the word out a bit more about anxiety and depression in the music industry. Do you know what I mean? This guy's a promoter, big promoter. You know what I mean? He's put it out on social media. He's been up and down through it. So it's sick, man. Like, hopefully we can help contribute towards the issue and, again, pass on the experience and the knowledge of people that have already been through it. If it can help just a little tiny bit, bruv.
Bruv, if it helps one person, then it's done the job.
Exactly.